Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jayam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Dire Nashtuprayesha Vatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita by Srila Das Goswami, Volume 4, in every town and village around the world, 1968 to 1971. Chapter 33, a lot of ground to be covered. So Prabhupada's disciples are in Kumbh Mela. They have set up the pandal there, and now Prabhupada is going to come over there. When Prabhupada arrived at the ISKCON camp the next day, the devotees were ecstatic. Eagerly, they began to tell him of the bizarre sights of the Mela. One of them mentioned a guru riding on an elephant and added, "Actually, you should ride on the elephant." "No," Prabhupada replied, "I would put Radha and Krishna there." Prabhupada's presence reassured his disciples, reminding them that spiritual life was neither exotic nor bewildering, but simple and practical. In Prabhupada's presence, the devotees' attractions to mystic yoga, Vedic rituals, and material blessings and benedictions vanished. They accepted that great spiritual benefit awaited the pilgrims at the Mela. But as Prabhupada had said, to go to a holy place means to find a holy person and hear from him. A place is holy because of the presence of the saintly persons. The devotees understood, therefore, that the greatest spiritual benefit lay in hearing from Srila Prabhupada. Sitting in his tent with his disciples, Prabhupada explained the significance of Ardha Kumbh Mela. For millions of years, he said, this had been among the most sacred places in India. During the appearance of the tortoise avatar, or Kurma avatar, when the demons and demigods had been churning immortal nectar, a drop of that nectar had fallen here. Since then, every 6 and 12 years, certain auspicious planets form a jug, and this jug, or kumbh, filled with immortal nectar, is said to pour that nectar upon the Triveni. Lord Ramchandra and Hanuman appeared here in Allahabad, and here Lord Chaitanya taught Rupa Goswami the science of devotional service. Prabhupada said he had also lived in Allahabad with his wife and family, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had initiated him at Allahabad's Rupa Goswami Gaudiya Math in 1932. So we missed seeing all these places in Prayagraj. So maybe when it is not Kumbh Mela, we can go and visit all these places. As for the melas, anyone who came and bathed at auspicious times when the prana was pouring down from the heavens was guaranteed either promotion to the heavenly planets or liberation. Guaranteed. That's what Prabhupada is saying. Promotion to heavenly planets means all the sins are gone, or one can get moksha also. It's so powerful. It's bathing in Kumbh Mela, bathing in Sangam during Kumbh Mela. And so many WhatsApp messages or messages on Facebook from all kinds of atheists or I don't know, whoever was posting, making fun of Kumbh Mela and this and that. They just don't understand the scriptures and the potency of all these places. Prayagraj is Tirtharaj. It's a king of all the Tirthas. Actually, to tell you a story, once Prayagraj was there, now he's a person also. It's not just the land. Land is his body, but he is a person also. So he was sitting, Narad Muni came, and Narad Muni glorified him, and he said, you should call all the tirthas from all over the universe, and you are the tirtharaj, they should come and worship you. And Prayagraj got, yes, like we very excited. So he called everybody. He called all the tirthas, but Braj didn't come. And everybody was praising him, Prayagraj, but he was upset. The Braj did not come. So he went to Krishna. So he went to Narad Muni. Narad Muni said, well, I don't know, go to Krishna. He might be able to answer this. Why Braj didn't come? Why Braj insulted you? So Prayagraj went to Krishna and he said, you made me Tirtharaj, but Braj doesn't respect me. Krishna said, I made you king of all the Tirthas, but not of my house. Braj is my house, Braj is my home. You're not above Braj. So there is Dham and then there is Tirth. So Prayagraj is, yes, king of all the Tirthas, but not of Dham. Dham is where Krishna or Jagannathpuri Dham, Ayodhya Dham, there are Dhams where the Lord performs his pastimes regularly. He lives there. Tirth is, he also performs his pastime, but he doesn't live there. He went there like Lord Ram also went to Prayagraj. Then people go and Tirthas give the pious activity, pious benedictions to people. But Dham gives service of the Lord. Huge difference. I mean, not to put down the position of Prayagraj, Tirtha, but Braj is Braj, or Jagannath Puri is Jagannath Puri. That's different. Mayapur Dham, Navdeep Dham. Navdeep is not called Tirtha. So there's a difference. Also, once Nanda Baba, now in Braj Krishna's pastimes, Nanda Baba wanted to go to Prayagraj to bathe in Kumbh Mela. And Krishna, when he found out, "Arey Baba, where are you going?" "Oh, Lala, this is Kumbh Mela, and this is we should go. Every Hindu should go and bathe." Of course, that time there was no Hindu or Muslim, but everybody should go and bathe over there. "Arey Baba, what are you talking about? Prayagraj is here." But of course, that um, when Krishna said Prayagraj is here, so he brought all the tirthas in Braj. So near there is a place called Badrinath Dham in Braj, not too far from Govardhan Hill. And when we go on the hills of that Badrinath Dham, there are places that's called Harki Podi and Prayagraj is there. So little body of water is there. But then again, one day, this was, if I'm not wrong, um, I think it was Akshay Navami day. And Akshay Navami, and that day also Nand Baba wanted to go to Prayagraj. So Krishna said, Lala said, Baba, first let's take bath in Pavan Sarovar. Pavan Sarovar is near Nandgaon. So on Akshay Navami in Pavan Sarovar, Baba said, okay, let's go take bath there first. So he was going to go take bath with all the Brajvasis from Nandgaon, and he saw a huge, very big black man. And Brajvasis were a little scared of that black man. And he had many beautiful ladies with him. And he was rolling in the dust, and he was laughing, and he was taking bath in that Pavan Sarovar. Baba said, well, Baba, who are you? I've never seen you here before in Braj. Who are you? And that black man said, who are you? Oh, I'm Nand Baba. Oh, he touched his feet, the black man, and he again was rolling in the dust. And the ladies were also rolling in the dust. Baba said, what is going on? Who are you? Where have you come from? And the black man said, I'm Prayagraj. Throughout the year, everybody comes, takes dip in Sangam there at Triveni. And who are these beautiful ladies? They are Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, and all these holy rivers are there. They have come with me. But why you have come here? Because they leave their sins over there. We have come here to get purified. Because this is Pavan Sarovar. So Pavan Sarovar means we get purified by taking bath. So this is Prayagraj. So not to, of course, not to put down the position and importance of Prayagraj. But Braj is still Braj. That's why Brajvasis, they hardly go anywhere. Those who know, they don't want to go. Everything is in Braj. So now, I don't know, it has recently started or it has been going on for a long time and recently it became big. Now that Akshay Navami Day, there's a huge festival at Pavan Sarovar because people come from all over to take bath in Pavan Sarovar that day. It's a huge festival that day. And yes, Braj Vikas Trust, this trust, they have renovated that Pavan Sarovar with the ghat and the steps. They have made it very beautiful. It's near Nandagaon. So Prayagraj also comes over there to take bath. And also, when Prabhupada was there for Kumbh Mela, so 1971 was with this con, that was the only time. He might have gone earlier also. So Prabhupada, when he was there, he was in his tent and he was giving association to his disciples, preaching to them, translating books as usual at night. He did not go take bath in Sangam. Not at this time, not in 1970. So one person he knew of from earlier time when he was in Allahabad, he came to see Prabhupada. And he came and he was talking very intimately, very nicely. And then from his thela, he brought out a lota and a container. So he asked Prabhupada to keep his feet, lotus feet, in that container, and he poured water on Prabhupada's feet. And Prabhupada was looking at him and smiling. He did not stop him. The disciples were watching, what is this going on? So he did Abhishek of Prabhupada's lotus feet. And he collected that water, first he took Charnamrit. Then he said, now I'm going to put this water in Sangam. And then Sangam will be purified and will be able to purify others. And Prabhupada was just laughing. He did not stop him. He did not say, no, don't do this. This is nonsense. He didn't stop him. So this is what that person did. He took water and poured it in Sangam. This is Prabhupada. Okay, further. John Greaves. I talked with other so-called gurus and they were very impersonal. They didn't seem to care so much for persons, especially Westerners. They had a dislike, sort of disdain, even though occasionally some of them would have a Western disciple. Prabhupada was completely different. He didn't seem so much concerned about externals, but was very concerned about a person's philosophy, his consciousness. And of course, he always tried to inject Krishna consciousness into everyone he met. Prabhupada said that although most of the saints and sadhus present were inauthentic, many were perfect yogis, some of them 300 and 400 years old. These yogis from remote parts of India would come out for the Mela and then return to seclusion. I have personally seen, he said, that they take bath in the Ganga and come up in the 7 sacred rivers. They go down in the Ganga and come up in the Godavari river. Then they go down and come up in the Krishna river and go down like that. The devotees therefore should respect everyone who attended the Mela. Can we believe this? They can dip in Ganga. and then they come out in Godavari. They think they dip again and come out in Krishna River. And they could be 300-400 years old. So we don't know who all these sadhus are, or the yogis. There's so much of yogic powers. But again, of course, we should not disrespect them, should not insult them, should not try to make fun of them. That's nonsense if somebody is trying. But again, we have to understand they're not devotees. They're performing their tapasya, whatever yoga practice they're doing. But bhakta, devotees are different. So actually it is true, one of the devotees inquired that just by bathing here, they're liberated. Yes, Prabhupada said, it is true. They come here for liberation, but we have not come here for liberation. We have come to preach. Being engaged in Krishna's unalloyed devotional service, we are already liberated. We are not interested in liberation. We have come to preach devotional service. So that's the difference. And many times these Babajis also, they appreciate devotees, especially ISKCON. They'd say, yes, you're doing wonderful job. Well, we should give them proper respect. They are better than any regular person. They have so much of yogic powers, and the tapasya they do in their caves on the hills. It's just mind-boggling. When Prabhupada rose early the next morning, the temperature was near freezing. His tent had no heat. He walked to the pandal to lead the kirtan and Mangal Aarti. And as he sat on his Vyasasana, a disciple handed him his quilt, which he wrapped around himself. To rise and bathe in such cold was difficult for most of the devotees. A few went to the Ganga, others bathed at a nearby pump, and some refused to get up at all. Giraj. The program was very rigorous because it was bitterly cold at night and we were expected to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and bathe and attend Mangala Aarti. So few staunch devotees like Tamal Krishna and Hansaduta got up early by 3 or 3:30 and walked all the way from our camp to Ganga to take an early morning bath. But those of us staying in the brahmachari tent were not so staunch, and generally when it was time to get up at 4 o'clock, it was so cold out that we preferred to remain in our sleeping bags. Srila Prabhupada also started to notice that some of us were coming late to Mangala Aarti, and then some of us were not coming at all. Prabhupada became very upset about this because he knew how important Mangala Aarti was for us. So one morning, although he was a little frail in health, he got up at 4 o'clock and came out on his gamcha, sat down under the pump and took that ice-cold bath early in the morning, just to encourage us to get up, bathe, and come to Mangala Aarti. That had a very profound effect on all of us, and we felt so ashamed that we just couldn't sleep late anymore. After Kirtan, Prabhupada lectured on Srimad Bhagavatam, resuming the story of Ajamil. This particular story, with its glorification of the Lord's holy name, seemed especially relevant. The holy name was so powerful that by chanting only, once Ajamil had been saved. Chanting, therefore, was far more beneficial than the prana coming down from the constellations. Dawn came and the sky lightened, but only barely. A damp, heavy fog from the river, mingling with the smoke from the campfires, clung to everything. Rain began to fall. The devotees were unprepared for this weather. With food hard to get and cook and toilet facilities at crudest, the devotees wondered how they would last for the scheduled 2 weeks. Prabhupada, however, who shared with his disciples all these austerities, remained transcendental and apparently unaffected. If the sun peeked through the clouds, he would sit outside and take his massage. Then he would bathe himself, sitting in his gamcha, dipping his lota into warm Ganga water and pouring it over his body. He seemed so content. The devotees took heart. He wasn't complaining, so why should they? Early in the morning, Prabhupada took the devotees out chanting. He wore his grey woolen chadar and his Swami hat strapped under his chin, and his disciples dressed in the warmest clothes they had, sweaters, hats, chadars. Prabhupada led the party as they weaved and wandered through the densely populated tent city. The kirtan was a joy to the other pilgrims. Ironically, amid such an exotic gathering of yogis, renunciants, naked sadhus, and the like, Prabhupada and his disciples created the greatest stir. And they were preaching. Although the groups were uttering mantras or lecturing in their tents, there was nothing like this. This was the only Sankirtan, and everyone welcomed it. With Prabhupada stately but joyful at the head, the procession grew, and Indians joined the Western sadhus in chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada sent the devotees out on Sankirtan each morning. As a Kirtan party roamed from camp to camp, many pilgrims would run up, offering prostrated obeisances, money, and respect. With strong, experienced street Kirtan drummers and chanters like Madhudvisha, Dinanath, and Hansaduta leading the chanting party, the devotees would forget the cold and austerity. Prabhupada stressed the importance of chanting. Always there must be kirtan, he said. Philosophy and lectures would not be as effective at such gatherings because the common people would not understand. Lord Chaitanya had never lectured in public, but always he had held kirtan. As a result of the devotees' kirtan, thousands would stream into ISKCON's large pandal to see the Radha Krishna deities and take prasadam. ISKCON had the only Krishna deity at the whole Mela, and thousands would line up to see him. Prabhupada would speak in English in the morning and in Hindi at night, and his evening kirtans in the pandal became a great success. The Western sadhus with the women and the little child were a great curiosity to behold. So, of course, that really is very attractive. Prabhupada also arranged for mass prasadam distribution, and he assigned Revatinanda and a few helpers to cook uh, to cook almost non-stop over two small wood fires in the kitchen shed. Some nights the devotees would cook vegetables and halwa, vegetables and puris for as many as 700 people. ISKCON's impact on the Mela pleased Prabhupada. And now devotees are cooking for lakhs of people. They're feeding lakhs. In the meantime, our program for touring India has been going on with all success in every place we are invited. Now we have come to the Ardha Kumbh Mela at Prayag, Allahabad, and we have got undisputed prominence amongst all groups here in the large gathering. Srila Prabhupada's lectures on Ajamil gave life to the cold and sometimes sick devotees. This opportunity to hear from Prabhupada was a reward for all their austerities. In each morning class, Prabhupada continued to stress the importance of chanting the holy names purely. The purification of one's chanting Harinam means as soon as you chant the holy name of Krishna, you will see the form of Krishna, realize the qualities of Krishna, remember the pastimes of Krishna. That is pure chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. That is stated in the commentary of Shilaji Goswami, that a pure devotee who chants Hare Krishna mantra immediately realizes the Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela, everything about Krishna simply by chanting the names. You will feel the form of Krishna. You will remember all his qualities. Oh, Krishna is so qualified. He is so magnanimous. Then you will remember his Leela pastimes. So Krishna instructed Arjuna. Krishna played with his cowherd boys. Krishna had very nice talks with the gopis, with his mother Yashoda. These things you will remember. That is the actual perfection of chanting. So this is how pure our chanting should be. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.